Welcome to Jan's Views, a place where I share my views and listen to yours. Whether you are here for my artwork, live streams, shorts, or just for the giggles, please be assured I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope that you will enjoy your time here on my channel. I would be eternally grateful if you would give a like to the video, consider subscribing and, dare I ask, even become a member. So without further ado, let's do this.
Hello and a very big welcome to Drama Friday. The girls are keen. The girls are keen today. Hey guys.
Edna's already here too. Oh my God.
I know, it's Friday night, hot as hell, and these hoes out. There's a little Glorilla for you this Friday.
We haven't had to poke Edna awake or anything like that. She's already here. Love it. So have you had a good 2 days since Wednesday?
Yeah, no complaint.
We should have KALARI coming up soon. I see she was in the chat. Looking forward to having her on. No doubt we can have a good old feisty chat with KALARI. The first thing I want to talk about though, guys, is okay. You know I'm doing true crime now. Loving it, loving the community.
I was looking at your numbers the other day. I was like, oh, you're doing well with this. Like, forget Girl World. Like, why even focus on that?
Exactly. And you know, it's like, hey, it's a time for celebration. It's a time to see who you're talking to. All right.
Oh, we turning cameras on now?
No, we don't. Hey, Jen.
Surprise, surprise. Anyway, I tell you what, I have been interested in true crime for such a long time, and I know so much about it. I mean, in that I've watched a lot. So I wanted to bring it in, and that's why I was doing the drama, the Monday, the Murder Monday. I really wanted to bring it in, and somehow I've managed to bring it in, and I am so happy. So happy. I've got some really good feedback. I'm involved in this case, which is just insane. It's awful. So yeah, happy with that. So I just wanted to start with this because I have actually been watching a little bit about this case. Now, I don't know whether you've heard of it. It's the Carly Gregg case. She was, I think she was 14,
No, I haven't
and
heard of it.
you haven't heard it. Good. Right. What I want to do is cover it on Monday.
No.
So, girls, I want you to do a bit of homework over the weekend. This is me going back to teacher mode. Homework. All right, get it
Okay.
done. Okay, on Carly Gregg. Now, I don't know all the ins and outs about it, but look, if you can read here, it says Carly Gregg sobs after receiving guilty verdict for murdering her mother. This girl, what she did is insane, and there is footage on there which I want to save till Monday, but I was so excited. I'm just so
Giving us a
pleased.
little preview, a teaser.
Mhm.
Yeah. So she gets her comeuppance. So I just want to show this bit because it's like, yes, at last, the what's it called? The judicial service is not an ass. That's
Mhm.
not what I meant to say. I meant to say law is no longer an ass. Here we go.
All right, if you would please hand the paper to the bailiff. Ms. Gregg, please rise and come to the podium, along with your attorneys.
Now, let me just say, this has
How
been live all week. And
how
this
old is she?
girl, what?
I was asking how old is she?
She's
14.
15 now. She's
Okay.
15. 15. Put in, well, when you're doing your homework, girls, put in Carly Gregg.
Mhm.
Okay. And this is her. Now, I can't talk much about it at the moment because I don't know an awful lot about the case. So, and I won't talk about something that I haven't researched.
Mhm.
But I'm telling you, it's from what I've seen. Yeah, girl, you need to be locked away for life. Hey, Kalari, how you doing, girl? Kalari, put on your microphone. There's always one, isn't there?
Sorry, I always mute before I start just in case because I don't want to pick up too much background noise. We got the TV on in here too.
It's all right, honey. How you doing?
I
Kalari's
am
the new
doing
Edna.
good. Not quite, because Edna goes everywhere and I have my limits. People want to get mad at me because of my associations. I tell people I go to who I find interesting and I enjoy. There are clear people that I don't fuck with, and they're pretty mad and they get talking shit about me, but I don't know them. I don't know you. Total Mariah Carey moment. Fuck y'all.
Exactly.
Sorry about the cussing, though. Sorry.
That's all right. You can do it on a Friday. I'm all right with that. So let's just finish this little bit here, and then we're going to come back to this on Monday, guys. All right. So here
Okay.
she is. Look, she's obviously been told to dress very sort of demurely, and I mean, what sort of 14-year-old wears that dress, or 15-year-old? I mean, yeah, okay. I'm being pernickety.
Something like that. I mean, granted,
All right,
look,
the verdicts
90s,
appear to be in
but
proper form. Verdict of the jury is count one. We, the jury, find the defendant, Carly Madison Gregg, guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment. Count two. We, the jury, find the defendant, Carly Madison Gregg, guilty of attempted murder as charged in the indictment. Count three. We, the jury, find the defendant, Carly Madison Gregg, guilty of tampering with evidence as charged in the indictment. Please be seated, Ms. Gregg.
Right. Okay. That's it. That's your teaser, guys,
Okay.
for Monday. Okay. Oh, where's she gone? Someone disappeared. There you are.
I hit the wrong button. I'm having one of them days.
listen, you're not beating those
I do it all the
allegations. You know,
time. But Kalari, have you heard the new rules on Jan's Views? We have to show our faces. No, we don't. Normally, I don't want to show mine, but today I thought, you know what, I will. I will. I'll show it. Show you that I'm still here. I'm not just an avatar. Anyway, we've got lots to get through. There's so much to get through, guys. What should we start with? I think, okay, I also want to talk about the, what's his name? P. Diddy thing, but
Oh
I want
yeah.
to do a video on him as well. But as I've got 3 Americans in here, just give me your, synopsis on it, or just a summary of what you think is, let's say, gonna happen. What's gonna happen with him? Is he gonna get away with it?
No way.
No, I don't
They
think
already
so.
have that case like sealed up. You know, the way that they went after him, like season, like whatever they issued that warrant for his house, like all the money and time and resources they put into doing something like that. This is not, yeah. I'm pretty sure like there's no way out of it for him.
One of the things I learned, because I was going to study law enforcement originally before I went into business instead, is that the FBI, when they get involved, it is a serious thing. They get all in. That's why I laugh at, because I listen a lot in people's chats when people threaten the FBI, like Amber says, she had FBI Frank call her and compliment her channel. The FBI does not focus on dumb shit, especially YouTube shit. So when they get involved with something as serious as RICO and stuff, it means they have the evidence already. They've been documenting this for years, and they are going to nail him because it's not just the FBI. Diddy probably used a lot of blackmailing from his freak offs on people. So there are a lot of people with motive to get rid of him so that they don't have to worry about that stuff no more.
Yeah. And also, I mean, it's like, I know we've spoken on him before, and I know the girls have told me that it's like, it's like an open secret out there, in the States.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
So I'm quite interested to hear from Americans, what is the open secret and why was it allowed to go why was he allowed to get away with it up until this time? Is it purely because, the FBI were involved and, as you say, they have to have a story. They have to have it already before they go, live with it, if you like. Is it that simple? I mean, what is it? What has allowed that to happen?
I don't think we should think. I don't think we should think of it in the case of a story. I mean, it's like it's a court case. It's these are crimes that were committed, so they have like documented evidence and fact that these were committed. And I'm sure they have witnesses and you know um like tapes, everything. So it's not like hearsay at this point.
No, but I think he used a lot of bribery and money. I mean, the Cassie thing is what pissed me off the most because a lot of people dragged her and was like, oh, she only sued him for a check. And then CNN plays that video, and a lot of people in the industry knew what he was doing to her, what he did to Kim. And a lot of people just stay silent. They go, oh, I'm just going to mind my business when it comes to stuff like that. People knew about the shootouts in the clubs. They knew about him blowing up Homeboy's car. There was enough out there about Diddy, including the fact that he can't freaking rap. I already said that a long time ago. He had no bars, and he was better off a producer than trying to make any kind of music. But
It was kind of good for the Diddy Bop.
There was a lot that people knew, and they just didn't want to say anything, either because they were compromised by him, because he had videotapes on a lot of celebrities and stuff, especially, or they wanted access to business deals. You'd be shocked at what they look away from.
Yeah, that's the surprising part for me is how everyone like is just pinpointing Diddy, but Diddy didn't do this alone. He had everyone around him supporting him, and that's what's really kind of mind blowing is that all of these people were okay with this happening and supported it, like facilitated it happening.
Yeah. I know.
What's interesting is I was looking at old clips of the people were posting of making the band with Sarah, she was one of the singers of the band,
Mhm.
and her husband was always around. And at the time, everybody was like, I think they thought of it like a Yoko Ono, with the Beatles kind of situation, like this person outside force coming in messing up the group. But actually, he was
Protecting
saving
her.
her. He was protecting her because now that
Yep.
we know, imagine what an advantage of like that. Yeah, he did what needed to be done.
Yep. And then you got to factor in Justin Bieber and Usher, who are still not telling the full story
Oh
of what they
yeah.
went through.
I
And
know.
then on top of that, you have elders like Steve Harvey, whose daughter was pretty much utilized. And that made me sick to my stomach.
Mhm.
It's some older Black actors, like even the guy that played Carl Winslow has a freak off tape. So Diddy knew what he was doing in regards to who he
Carl
could keep
Winslow.
silent. Yes. Girl, this rabbit hole goes so deep. It was crazy, the stuff I found out. It's just
Scary.
nasty. Yes.
Where are my pearls?
I'm telling you.
I mean, would you ever
Not
consider
Family
doing like
Matters.
is that you,
Sorry.
Edna, jumping in where yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Right, Family Matters is like it was one of those feel good sitcoms, growing up where, for
Exactly.
Black. Yeah, it was
But
just so
but
it's like that was a TV dad person. So to think of him being involved in something like this, like I know that he's not the character, but it's just disappointing.
But
Yeah.
listen, look at all those Family Matters people. You had the little girl that went upstairs, never came down, and she became a porn actress. Then you got Eddie. Eddie was with Superhead, and I want to hear from Superhead on this Diddy thing because
Mm.
she was tied with him too. So yeah, that family
Yeah.
was messed up.
Yep.
It's horrifying. So I guess do you think that he bought some of the celebrities' silence because he'd got videos of them or he's got pictures of them in his home? So in a
Mhm.
way, it's almost like a form of blackmail that he
Yeah.
would always
Absolutely.
hold that over them.
From what I heard, and I listened to actual audio stuff because a lot of channels that I listened to keep in the know about Diddy had like audio files of certain things, and that's how I found out about some of these elders that did the thing. There's tapes, lots of tapes of the freak off, and then people want to focus on like the baby oil and AR-15. I'm pretty sure the feds have a lot of tapes, and there are going to be a lot of people sweating bullets when stuff comes out.
Look, I saw
Mhm.
a post on Twitter, I think it was yesterday, about like all these executives from companies that have stepped down since Diddy got arrested. I don't know how true that is, but it was like a whole bunch of like executives, Black executives that stepped down from their companies.
No.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people who wanted they wanted adjacency to Diddy's empire, and they probably did some things. There's gonna be a lot more because Hollywood's messy. Y'all remember what happened to Terry Crews? That was literally a producer that attacked him.
Yeah.
So Hollywood's just full of degenerates, and I wouldn't be shocked if there ain't going to be more executive heads rolling after this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, it's
So
about time.
I want to do a video on him, but I know I'm going to have to I'll probably have to split it up because otherwise it's going to go on for hours. Because once I start researching, I get together a lot of information. I did ask somebody on the panel for some information, and all they said was just research Wendy Williams.
Listen, you said that you wanted to get like from the people's, like the regular public viewpoint about like what the public knew. And I was just like, Wendy Williams was speaking on this back in the day. So
Yep.
she had the information
Yeah,
and
she would be a good
and
source.
yeah, and look, see, Jan,
Whatever.
Wendy,
Just sort of dropped
Wendy
in it.
People
had
call
all the
Wendy out of her
gossip.
face too for that. She's got a
Yeah.
lot of flack, and she knew what she was talking about. And like I said,
Mhm.
they disrespect Black women way too much in the entertainment industry, especially when they're telling the truth.
See, Jan,
I
you
mean, but
trying to
she was
call me
messy
out.
though.
You trying to call me out, Jan, like I didn't know what I was talking about, and I put you in the right direction. So now.
You did. You did. But I have to have a swipe at somebody, and I can't keep swiping at Edna. So, and
Yeah.
you know, I can't
Edna's
swipe
a
at
sweetie.
Kalari. So what can I do? Anyway, girls, I want to discuss when. Okay, I want to do this the right way. When does reacting to somebody become bullying and harassment? That's what I
When they
want.
ask you to stop. When they ask you to stop.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I agree
Or
with that.
when you have to do lengths that try to get their attention, even after they've made it clear that they're not interested. I've told people all the time, if they want to react to what I put on the internet, feel free. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch it. I don't care. Leave me alone. And they're like, okay, let me make an avatar of you and get your attention.
Right.
And they don't expect you to feel a certain way about that. I don't
Yeah.
care what people say about the content I put on the internet. That's critique. It's going to be critique. But if I draw that boundary and say, hey, I do not want to interact with you, respect that. Because I'm not going into their chats. I'm not going on their stuff. I barely speak their names, but apparently, you know, there are rules to this girl world shit, and I'm just not interested. Just do your thing, I'll do mine, and we won't meet if I have my way.
I just think it's really crazy that like when you are like, I can understand a back and forth going on the internet. You might not like somebody and the other person doesn't like you, and y'all are going back and forth, and it's entertainment for everybody. But then when one person is just like, look, I don't want to engage anymore. I'm done. Just leave me alone. And they still keep on going for weeks and months later. It makes no sense. It's insane.
And even if they use the
people get
excuse,
mean.
sorry, Edna. Yeah.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just saying, even if they want to use the excuse that what I'm doing is hypocritical, because I've been told all week that people are like, well, you're big bongs, you know, you're a big girl too. I said I was a big girl, and I always remind people that I was literally a death fat, and I'm not anymore. I've lost over 200 pounds, and I'm proud of that. So yeah,
they
I
don't
feel
understand that.
They don't.
It's like they don't understand. It's like a girl world, like within the community of the women, particularly like the big women who have lost the weight or made changes like that. We understand how it is to look at these women and hear their excuses or their justifications for everything and be like, "That's bullshit," because we've done it. But they're looking out. They're just seeing two fat people, and you know they can't make the distinction between the two.
And they really don't want to, because a lot of people thought that because I'm civil to people I'm interested in. I'm not going to go out of pocket at people that I just met on YouTube. If I find you interested, I'm going to be nice. There's no reason to be bitchy. But some people take that as ass kissing and other stuff. No, it's just being civil. It's called manners. And the fact of the matter is, the only person that I really was enjoying having the back and forth beef with, and apparently I can't even take a week off from her, is Foodie. Like, I didn't put my name in her. I left that heifer alone. I went to talking about a back and forth with What the Dirt, because he was out of pocket about the Kendrick and Drake stuff. I was just feeling like I needed a detox from Girl World. And then the person that I'm trying to like leave his name all the way out my mouth, because he just can't stand not trying to knit at me, goes into her chat to start her up again. And once again, she promoted my book. So thank you again for that, Chantal. She keeps talking about my exercise, but it's not my fault. She's about 250 pounds over what my bike can handle. That's her life.
And also, I mean, it's very much like playground bullying, because what playground bullies do is they find who they feel is the weakest child, and you know, maybe it's a child that's got a limp, or maybe it's a child that wears glasses, or maybe it's a child who's overweight, and they'll spend the whole of their school time just poking at that child with those same insults, over and over again.
I think they just want attention at this point, though. And they're mad that I'm not going to give them what they want, because it's not a friendly beef with some of these people. They go real life. And I don't say shit to flex. When I did that walk video earlier, it was to show that I saved for years with my partner to get a nice 5-acre plot of land, that we plan to expand on. These motherfuckers like to sue over their feels getting hurt. You think I'm gonna mess up my shit to talk about these idiots? No, they picked the wrong one for that. I got way too much to lose over YouTube shit.
Yeah,
Well, congrats.
exactly. Kalari, would you mind if I just play a little bit of his video just to show what he stooped to? If
You
you'd rather I
can.
didn't, then I'll leave it.
I don't get mad at his clownery anymore. Like I said, I'm gonna limit even talking about him because it's like it's been pointed out, it's what he wants. He
Yeah.
loves saying stuff, and now his Trojan whale parrots everything he says about me. And I gotta take it as a grain of salt. She's laying in Thailand, seal position, eating herself into a coma, and I'm living my life. So whatever they say about me, I just don't care. That it's not gonna faze me.
It's just insane, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
like, you know,
They've been great promo for my channel though, and for real, like I got a second novel coming out, so keep talking about me, Heifer. Thanks. You know?
Right, let's add this to the screen then. And I mean, if we just look at his channel, okay, so his subs seem to have gone up, but his views haven't. And it's interesting to note, Kalari, that the last one he did about you, he hasn't even hit 1,000.
I'm not shocked. People are tired of his stick with that because honestly, he's not going to get the back and forth that he thinks he's going to get out of that. And people just don't want to jump in. Like I said, I don't make anybody choose. I have people that watch me that still like him, and I'm not their mama.
Yeah.
But what I'm not going to do is act like I want to be bothered with him.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is, it's not fun anymore. Like it's not even jokey. It's not like a kiki. It's just being mean. It feels very mean spirited at this point.
And that's why I asked the question at the beginning. You know, when does it actually turn to bullying? When is it classed as bullying? I mean, here we go. Look, we've got this bit where he's challenging you to eat the apple. Now, how many times have people asked him not to do that? It's insulting. I find it insulting.
I said it and I mean it. It felt like a fetish, and that's why I turned that shit right down. I know Garlic had joked about you should do it and see that he's not going to pay you. I don't want his money. I just, like I said, I don't care if he reacts to my stuff. I don't care if he makes jokes. I had him blocked from the get because of the way he kept coming at me about the foodie stuff. If he wants to act like this, let him. What he doesn't like is that I won't give him that satisfaction, and he's got to get over it.
Yeah.
I just don't care.
I mean, I think this is, I mean, I've said to you how I feel about this new sort of Yo Flake series that he's meant to be doing. Now here he's getting somewhat confused because he's trying to be Snowflake on a bike.
Mr. Snowflake does exercise, but I've never seen him do like a fit bomb series. And there are a lot of people who are saying, you know, this is helping because I didn't think I could exercise. And I tell them, just start small. When I got back at it, I could barely go 10 minutes. Now I can do 30, 40 minutes while talking. You got to build that up. The fact that he wants to mock it, like I said, that's his cross to bear. I'm good.
That's what I'm saying. That just shows how little he understands, you know, the community and like the experience. Because I remember, you know, going to the gym, going to the Y, and only being able to be on the elliptical for like 5 minutes, you know? And it's like when you come from that place and you build up your place, like someone doing this little thing isn't, it doesn't touch you because you know who you are and you know what you've accomplished.
Exactly, Edna. And that's why I said a lot of people, you know, and I know it would be fun for some people to watch us have a back and forth, but I can't stand this man at any level. And I don't want to have to go low to insult him. I don't want to know anything about him. So I just rather ignore him. It seems to bother him more that I ignore him, which is hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he probably feels entitled to your energy, like like a lot of men do, you know?
Yep.
It's like they
Yeah.
think women are here for their entertainment, for their whatever, whatever insert. They think that they're owed like interactions with us, and they're not.
But look what he's prepared to do in order, in order to bully somebody, because this is what this is. There's no humour involved in this. You've asked him to please stop talking on you. You're not willing to talk to him. But here we go with the apple. I tell you what, I want to stuff that apple. Well,
And the
where
thing
the
is,
sun doesn't shine.
I'm Gen X, just like he more than likely is Gen X. He knows where the generation that this internet shit don't get to me, because I'm literally the kind of girl
No.
here from New York that was like, okay, let's handle this outside. I would have fought him, honestly, if I could be honest.
Yeah.
He is not. He is not Gen X. He is he is like a snowflake millennial. Not Mr. Snowflake, but he's a snowflake millennial, and he gets his feelings hurt, and he gets angry at internet shit all the time. He's yelling like he threatened Shannon to go beat up her boyfriend and stuff. He gets emotionally involved in this. He is not Gen X at all.
Which is crazy to me. And now it makes a lot more sense, because it's like, this is just internet stuff. Why are you getting so emotional? He said, I was getting emotional. And I'm sitting there like, man, if I was that emotional, I'd handle it. Like, I don't care about you.
Knock your teeth in the back of your throat.
It's got to be that. Yeah. That was how we handled shit back in the day. If I was really that pressed, that is how we handled this. He is not worth the time and energy to even get mad at. And like I said, people watch the both of us. So there are constantly people like, oh, he said stuff about you in his stream again. And it's like, I'm not going to do the same. So, okay. I don't think he understands that, because he is so determined at this point to think he can find something to get at me. He's tried talking about my family. I ignored it. He's tried talking about my weight. I ignored it, because especially since he's defended somebody who's at least 200 over on me and isn't doing anything with her life. But he's got to be her knight. And to make fun of somebody who's actually exercising, I don't get the insult. Okay, thanks for letting people know that I actually exercise. He's free promo. And I think he hates that, because I'm not reciprocating.
Exactly. So I'm just wondering whether I need to. I don't think we actually need to watch what he has to say, other than to say, I mean, I had brought him up before, and Edna sort of said, "Oh, well, I think the Yo Flake series is good." I honestly am embarrassed for him that he stooped this low. That's how I feel. I'm absolutely embarrassed for him, a grown man and a father, to stoop to this level, to have a dig at another creator.
He does it to a lot of people, though. Jans, he went after Alex's Shook. He's constantly has you. He has FFG. He has so many people. He went after Bridget, even after she literally said the same thing. Respect my boundaries. I'm not interested. So it's like he's a habitual line stepper, and he just thrives on trying to get somebody angry at him, getting that attention. And I learned from years on Twitter that you just starve people like that for attention. You don't give them what they want all the time. Anytime I say his name, there's something that he's got to do. And if he keeps knitting, people are going to eventually see this is a one-sided thing. She's clearly not interested, and move on.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely. And in my defense, that was like 2 videos ago. That was before he it on.
And it's like I tell people all the time, enjoy who you want to enjoy on here. Nobody can explain why they enjoy somebody's commentary or skits as he wants to try to do. There are plenty of people in Girl World who I either lurk or I listen, because it's so fucking vast. So many commentators that, you got something for everybody. So I would normally judge people on who they watch, unless there is somebody so out of pocket or date somebody so out of pocket and try to act like they were down for years and then go, I think y'all know who I'm alluding to. She has my name in her mouth too. And it's really hysterical to me, because the only thing I said about her is, you tried to use a gotcha on somebody that wasn't really a gotcha. You hitched up to somebody who literally used to insult your ethnicity and stuff. I don't know much about you, but what I found out about you was enough for me never to fuck with you. And that was enough for her to start too. But she's another one who likes lawsuits. And like I said, I feel like they pocket watch me now. And I'm not going to fuck around with those people at all.
No.
I just thought it was disgusting that she said that, what she said about you trying to have another child. Because it's like, that's one thing. That's
Oh, I
what got
just
me
twigged who
really
you're talking about. Sorry.
I still
Oh,
don't know. I
God.
don't
They're
know.
just
And that is
disgusting.
nobody's business. And like I said, I almost regret making it known because I was arguing with another creator when she was trying to tell me what to do. And it's like,
Mhm.
I have doctors. I lost the weight that I was supposed to. I'm with a partner that I love. So that's between me and him. People can have whatever
Right.
opinion they want about what I'm doing. At the end of the day, they ain't paying my bills and they ain't in my house. So, but people are
And
going
other
to say
women
that
have
because they
done
think
it.
it gets, they think that
Have
it
you seen
makes me
Gabby
mad.
today? She had twins with her husband, and she,
Yeah.
does. So and she's like in her 40s. So to put
Janet
that
Jackson had her first child at 50.
50.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's
So,
like, get out of here with that nonsense. Limit yourself in your life, but don't speak that on somebody else.
but that's the
Yeah.
thing. That's the key thing for a lot of them. They limit themselves. They have no real ambition. They thought YouTube would be easy money and stuff. A lot of them aren't living a decent life. They don't have the education. They dropped out or gave up. And they expect everybody else to be in that pit of misery with them. And then when somebody comes along that has their shit together and just doing this for fun, it rattles them. And you know what? I'm happy I rattle them. Point blank.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to share this and we can watch it together because this is Kalari's life. Kalari's life isn't about riding on a bike, even though what if it was? She's trying to better herself. And what
Exactly.
these people can't understand is how somebody wants to actually make something of themselves. Kalari is an author. She's an intelligent woman. And all they can talk about is her riding on a bike. It's ridiculous.
They
And
think
they
they're going to
all
shame me for
shame
my
her.
exercise, and it doesn't work that way. I
No.
know where I was, I know where I'm at now, and I'm good.
Yeah. So let's have a look at where Kalari lives and tell me if you wouldn't mind living in this place. I know I would love
It's
it.
a rainy day, so I will not be out that long. Holy crap, it is coming down. Let's get the umbrella though.
Kalari, when you said, "Oh, let's get the umbrella," I thought, "Oh my God, I couldn't hold a phone and an umbrella." And I thought,
I learned to
"How
multitask. Kiddo used to have me holding different stuff. So, but I did have to sit the phone down to get it open. And I had the watering can too, because I had to water the plants.
Yeah. And do you know, I've heard people say, well, Kalari says this, Kalari calls her a heifer and yet she's overweight. So what? Kalari, you
Exactly.
can't put the two people in the same sentence really, because Kalari is living her best life as somebody who was morbidly obese and admits to still being a large lady.
Yeah.
But she's showing you that she's got a life. What's wrong with that?
Not only that, but I've never gone at anybody who called me fat. What am I supposed to get back? I'm fat. I never did not. I put myself on camera. I think I can see myself. I've never missed that. I think
Yeah.
what they think, because it clearly bothers Chantel, and I know it clearly bothers Chantel, and that's why I say it. And she realized that the teeth thing didn't bother me either. So she just keeps trying to harp on it and say, "Oh, you're bigger than me," and then her friends and associates try to jump at it too. And it's like when you've been in a worse position and you know where you are now, it doesn't get to you. I've literally played the dozens with my family. That's where we all get together and we kind of like roast each other. You can't roast me harder than the people that actually know me, so I don't care.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta try a bit different formats for things. Since I know now I have a fan club of people who like to watch my videos, and
I have to say, I really enjoyed this, Kalari, and I think you should think about doing more like this.
Yeah.
Maybe, walking. I don't know if you've got a bench at the front or something like that,
I
but
want to get a
maybe,
gimbal first because I noticed in this video it was kind of shaky because we have like a dirt
yeah.
road out there, and I want to get something that's a bit more steadier because I would love to show the neighborhood. It's a really nice, quiet area.
Yeah. But I think, you
Yeah.
could sort of incorporate this into your videos. So you could sort of go and show yourself, right, we're going to go and sit outside and we're just going to chat. I just think you've got such a nice sort of commentary voice anyway that
Thank
I
you.
think it could work for you. And I know like you like to do the fit bangs, and that's great. I think you should continue to do that. But I think, adding this to your repertoire is a positive. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, I
Put out
figured
garbage.
with her laying on her side in a hotel room trying to insult me, I figured the best clapback was to show actual exercise
Yes.
because that's the only way to respond to Chantal. She can't
Yeah.
do this, so I thought it was funny.
I know.
Takes on it, and there's nothing I can do about that. I don't watch them anyway, but they want attention apparently. It would be funny if they weren't all the same age as me. Give me just a moment. Let me put this down for just a minute here.
I want to ask you, Kalari, I know you've got your greenhouse there, your new greenhouse. Why have you put it, hang on, let me play this a bit more. Why have you put it on the actual deck and not on the grass? Is there a reason for that?
Upper Michigan, and we are going to get, my husband's already warning, we get real winters here, and we didn't get a harsh one last year, but we're fixing to get a big one this year. So we want to try all season growing, and it'll be easier to access it than trying to get through mountains of snow.
Yeah. Oh, so you get snow there.
Off the ground.
Oh yeah, real snow. It piles up.
Yeah.
We're gonna put like a rug underneath and grow lamps in there. That's some of the stuff that we've been working on so that the veggies don't freeze. But my husband was like, yeah, we got plenty of room on the deck. Let's do it up there because he doesn't want me slipping and falling. And he definitely doesn't want me trying to get through the snow to get to it on the lawn.
Yeah.
What are you growing?
So far, we have a tomato plant, onions,
you can see we're just going to go into the
green peppers, and peas.
Opening.
Wow, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, it's just a starter containment right now to see what grows and what we can grow during the winter. And I'm excited because I didn't get to do this for years. I used to do it in North Carolina, and it was just therapy for me. And now I get to experiment and see. That's a strawberry bush in the back there too. They gave that to us, the people that I bought the seeds from.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Oh yeah, fresh spinach to pick because produce costs a lot.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They do.
Don't forget.
Sorry?
I said don't forget the chat.
Okay.
Sasha says
Okay, let's see. Let's go
they
to the
do
chat.
random fish.
Right, okay, they're talking about Michael and okay. Apparently, yes, very early on. Interesting how long Michael and Prince knew each other and their dynamic. They didn't have a good dynamic, did they? Competition, but Prince was so sad when Michael died. Yes, I like old drama too.
It was
Did they die the same year? Did they die?
Prince died after. No, Michael died first, and then Prince died. I believe we lost him in 2016, and Michael was 2012, if I'm remembering right.
Okay.
I know Michael definitely died first.
Oh yeah, I knew he died first, but I thought Prince was fairly soon afterwards. But
I think Prince died in the same year as David Bowie.
Oh yeah.
We lost a lot in 2016. It was gutting me because we lost George Michaels in December that year too, and I was like, "You just gotta stop taking my favorite musicians."
Yeah,
this is ridiculous.
Yes. Well, listen, my memory's not not great, and I've probably told this story before, but when George Michael died, I was so upset. And my son, who's a musician, he phoned up. He said, "Oh, you know, we were talking about it, you know." And also, it's just so awful that it happened on Christmas Day, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I was talking to my son about it, and I said, "You know, there's just one thing that I really regret." I said, he said, "Well, what's that, Mum?" And I said, "Well, that I never got to see him." And he went, "Mother, we went together to see him."
Oh.
And I was like, oh my God, I'd completely forgotten that I'd been to see George Michael. And I really had to dig in the depths of my memory to remember the concert. I mean, honestly, it's not hard
Yeah.
being
Were
an
you able
old
to
prince.
recall
It's
it?
not easy. Sorry?
Were you able to recall it?
Yeah, I can vaguely remember. Yeah. It was at Wembley, and he
Mm.
used to come. He came out on like a. There was like a. What do they call that stage? I've forgotten the stage that sort of comes out into the audience, and he came out. I mean, he's just amazing, absolutely wonderful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So what's this? Breaking Boych news, leaked pictures. What? Breaking? What's BOYT news?
I
What?
don't know.
Pictures on
I
my
have no
community
idea.
of Mark Terry's dad when Mark Terry hit him and went to jail for it. The source of the picture. Why are you putting this in there? Okay, all right.
Probably a bot.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't
okay.
know who that is.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, snows a lot Jan, in the north. Hey, Sasha, how are you? How are you going to behave yourself tonight?
Hi,
That'll be a
Sasha.
first. On Christmas. Hey, Squish Squish, haven't seen you around for a while. Hope you're well. Right.
Laura, do you partake in cannabis or anything like that?
It's legal in our state, and I have some investments because of that. But due to trying to
Really?
keep my health, because I don't smoke at all, right? My lungs were fucked up as a kid. So I
Yeah.
support businesses because I like
Mhm.
investing, but I don't partake currently. I did when I was younger. My friends used to bake stuff. So we had like the treats before they became popular. But that was
Mhm.
before when you could get arrested for having that stuff. Now that I'm older,
So
I'd
how
rather make the money
Mhm.
from it.
So how are you investing in it, if you don't mind sharing?
There's a lot of people who are going public here in Michigan because we have a lot of shops,
Mhm.
and there are chain shops now, and they just want investors to help them be able to buy stuff to help them grow year round. So you give them a bit of money and you own a percentage of their business.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You
Yes, I
know,
can
they
see you,
have
Pew Pew. I can see you. How
Hi,
are
Pew
you,
Pew.
girlie? You all right? Hope you're well. I'm not on Twitter very often now, so I don't really keep up with you.
Well, let me tell you, with speaking of Pew Pew, because you know she always talks about the Dark Witch. So I said, let me go see what's going on with the Dark Witch over in Twitter. And I clicked on her and I'm blocked.
And what? You're blocked?
I'm blocked from the Dark Witch.
No.
I
Horror
think
of horrors.
I think that my saging of my Twitter timeline had worked. I had been ignoring her. I had muted her months ago. And finally,
Congrats.
she blocked me.
What a witch.
The sage works. It
What
works.
a
You gotta
witch.
smudge your timeline.
Yep.
I tell you what, that woman needs to get a hobby. That's what she needs to do. Stop walking around the block in your white stilettos and get a hobby. She's way out of control. It's insane. And I've had her blocked for months. So
I never blocked her. I just muted her. And so if she ever replied to me, like I didn't know. Even though I did see one time that she replied and I just didn't check it because you know it says muted account or whatever. Let me not check it. And so because she was trying to engage with me, nope, I'm not giving you the engagement. And like we said earlier, these people just want attention. That's all it is.
Yeah.
that's
The
it.
bad thing is with
Sasha,
her,
correct?
I actually liked her for a bit. I thought because I love Greek mythology that she was interesting, but she kept coming at me sideways. First of all, because I enjoy FFG's channel and I sit in there. And then she
And they
wanted to say,
can't bear that. They can't
yeah,
bear it because
then
I've said the same thing. I don't dislike FFG. I've watched her quite often, but she's a bit much for me. That's all I've ever said. But oh, Jan likes FFG and blah blah blah, and I'm like, for goodness sake, just grow up.
Exactly. But what caused me to just say I'm done with your crazy ass, because I got enough of my own crazy, was she swore I said something about her in the YouTube Underground. This was when I just started talking in Yaba's chat, because I would just lurk at first, and I wasn't even thinking about her. She comes at me sideways in another creator's chat, and I'm like, you know what? I am done. You are a grown woman. You said you were the same age as me. Yeah, you're acting like this, and I don't know you, so I'm just gonna block her. And I haven't talked about her since. I don't pay attention to her. I told my mods, just don't even talk about her. And for some reason, that set her off even more. And it's like, I don't know. I'm just gonna leave this alone. It's weird.
It's insane. It's
So it was interesting. I came across this video was talking about how like we need to look at sex workers because of like how they interact with men, and they're able to decide, like if they're safe or not, if they're able to like have a positive interaction with them, just different things. And I just thought it was a really interesting take on sex work and just like kind of the liberation of women as a whole, because it's like if you can like not legitimize, like I guess make sex work respectable, or like if it's no longer okay to like demonize them, then it extend to all women, kind of like trans people respecting trans people and stuff. It's like it doesn't, like anybody being marginalized is a problem, and once you fix that, it extends to everybody.
If she had stuck to that, I would have had a lot more respect, because I know historically speaking, the state of Wyoming was literally built by sex workers. It's the reason why we have things like AC and stuff too. There is such a historical connotation. Yeah. The things you can learn about sex work, especially the historical stuff, would be fascinating. And she could have done stuff like that, but she would rather do internet beefs. And you know what? That was enough for me. And I was like, okay, you're blocked too. It's sad because I wanted to support her channel, but you're not going to tell me to take a side in a fight that I have no part of. I'm just going to just leave you alone at that point.
That's right. And the thing is, I mean, it's the same with me. One of my besties actually had a very good friend who was a sex worker. And she used to tell me all the stories, of what they used to do. And we used to have a good old laugh when we were talking about her friend. We would have a good old laugh. So it's not that yes, I do have old-fashioned views when it comes to prostitution. I do feel it degrades women, blah, 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 blah. But I accept people for who they are. Now, if any one of you on my panel was to turn around and say, well, actually, I'm in the sex business, it wouldn't bother me.
I couldn't. I grew up a church girl, but I did grow up around those who they had no choice, whether they were LGBTQ kids who got kicked out. Like Pose didn't lie about that. That was real. A lot of them had to do whatever they had to do to survive. So that was why I never looked down on it. And then just women who they might have gotten with a guy that wanted to pimp them out for extra money. There was a lot going on. And that's where my empathy for it came from. But I know I couldn't do, because I don't like people on that level. I'm an introvert. I couldn't. But I have respect for those who now take it and make it a legitimate business, because there has been so much shame attached to it that people don't see that. It's been around for a long time. And like I said, it's Adams Ruins Everything. If you ever watch that show on TBS, he did a whole thing about how Wyoming was founded by madams and sex workers, how they not only got the right to vote early in that state, but also were the reasons why AC inside homes became a nationwide thing. There's so much you can learn when you just look at other point of view, even if you can't live that life and don't want to live that life. I always like learning different perspectives.
Yeah. And I'm the same. I really am a people person, but my issue with her is not necessarily what she does, although I'll throw that in her face all the time. it's the fact that she's just such a nasty individual. And she talks, the way she talks is so disgusting to me. I just, and it's like it's like she doesn't talk with her mouth, she talks with her vagina. Do you know what I mean? It's like, no, there's more to you than what's between your legs, you
And
know?
The sensual voice,
yeah.
And that's what I find so offensive about her. Not necessarily that she's a hooker, although I will say that to her face because it probably annoys her, but it's the way she talks and tries to glorify everything. And then when she goes to attack people, it'll always be a sexual attack. It'll be, oh, well, I slept with your dad last night, or I did this, or maybe you haven't been laid lately, or, and it's like, just get out of the gutter, girl,
So this is
It,
all on Twitter.
yeah. No, she's done
Okay,
it
gotcha.
on
On
YouTube.
YouTube too?
Yeah.
Oh,
And I just,
Apparently, I found out via Chantal talking nonsense about me that she's talking about me too. And it's like, girl, what did I do to you besides block you?
exactly.
I really don't even bring you up. I'm sad that you flipped out on me because it's like I said, I didn't judge her. Even when she was going after FAG, I was like, okay, that's between them. That's none of my business. But that's the problem. There are people on here that want factions and they don't understand that there are some of us that just want to be entertained. I'm not interested in taking a side. I don't care on that level. I don't know these people outside the day. So I'm not going to get personally invested in this like that. So the fact is, the moment she showed me that she wanted me to be another potential attack dog, I was like, no, I'm good.
Right, Random Fish has made a good statement. Well, what about male sex workers, not just women? There is stigma amongst them too, no? Do you think it's a gender issue or just the idea of sex for money?
I think they glorify straight sex workers as gigolos and stuff, but the homosexual sex workers, yeah, there's a stigma and their lives are at more risk. It's such it's not a nuanced thing. There's so many gray areas in it because there are plenty of people that look down on sex work, but it's a bit more. It's dangerous for all of them, but it's even more for homosexual men who do it because there are men that really want to keep things on the down low. And if they think that it's going to be risk that they're found out, they will kill that sex worker. No, they
What
won't
do they
even
call
think
it?
about
Gay panic or something?
Yep.
It's like well, not as legitimate, but it was like actually used as a defense for
It
a long
was.
time.
Oh, really? That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yep.
Let's take that down for now. Yeah, that's really interesting. So getting back to that, I want to break that up a bit. Yeah, I think there is still a stigma against it. And I'm going to jump to the end. Is it the idea of sex for money? Are you asking me personally? Because if you are, then I would say, yes, I find that abhorrent. I just think it's just, your body should be your temple, and you don't sell it. No, I don't like that. But that's just me. And I'm not prudish in any shape or form, but
I say it all the time. It's not for me personally. I don't think I have the mentality to do it, but because I've been around people who either had to or literally wanted to, I'm more of a, if that's your life, that's your life. Just please be careful because it's still dangerous work. They are highly targeted by serial killers. They are highly targeted by manipulative people. A lot of them get into illicit things just to clear their mind of the stuff that they have to do. So it can be hard. It's a really hard life unless you have a good business acumen. But I know I can't personally do it. So I look at it as I can at least support people who try to do it the right way. And there are a lot of amazing people that have their business set up. They're very safe. They do it. They literally file taxes for it. So I think if we can encourage it to be more safer, instead of people feeling that it's their last resort to get money, that might make it a bit better.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the issue like that's the root of the issue is capitalism, where
Yep.
you're not really valuable. You can't take care of yourself unless you're making money. So and I mean, it's just terrible that we have that idea to where you have to go to charity or something, if you're not able to work or to care for yourself, like, or sell yourself. Like the idea that that's an option, like that just blows my mind.
It's literally the oldest profession, though. We had prostitution back
Yeah.
before we really had written language.
It's like, what are
Yeah.
taxes for then? Because that's the whole point. It's like we have this social safety net for people who, when, they're not able to take care of each other. So I just feel like in any developed country, polite society, that should not be a thing. Like somebody who feels forced to do so. Like if you
Yeah.
want to do that under capitalism, like you're like, hey, this is an asset I have and I want to use it, that's one thing. But to feel like, you're destitute, like you have to survive and you dehumanize yourself in that manner, and for people to practice it, that's disgusting.
Yep. And
Yeah.
I think there has to be a line between those who are being trafficked, because that's a serious issue, and those
Uh-huh.
who are independently contracting themselves. I think that's the best way to call it. You are independently contracting yourself and you're being safe, you're doing everything you got to do. That's none of my business. But there is a whole like sector of people that exploit, especially kids. And
Mm.
I don't want to see
Oh
them
my God,
moving in
yeah.
on this. Yeah.
Yeah. I think, there's so many, as you say, there's so many different sectors in that one profession, if you want to call it a profession. And some of it is just so dark.
Yeah.
And I think because I've always got that in my mind, if I think of that profession, to have somebody who proudly states that she's in that profession, but is incapable of speaking in a way that is, how can I say, is acceptable to somebody, well, to decent people, and
I put it simple. Heifer has no home training.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, but what about people who like need help with sex? Like I remember I was watching like a documentary and it was kind of like that movie The 40-Year-Old Virgin.
virgin,
Virgin. Yeah.
And yeah, and it was just like people, I can't remember exactly what it was, but there were people who facilitated like maybe older adults with disabilities or what have you. Like I remember there's this one guy, he just wanted to have sex, and there was like this older woman who was like a sex therapist that had sex with him. And I just feel like, like, and it
the sex
wasn't like
therapist
a
had sex
seedy.
with him. The sex
Yeah, well,
therapist.
I don't I'm using the word therapist loosely here, but I
Oh,
mean she was
okay.
Yeah.
using it in a holistic, she was approaching it in a holistic manner, not as in like a seedy or dirty kind of back page type of situation.
That's why I said there's so many avenues when it comes to that. And I
Mhm.
think we have to start separating sex work, because it is legitimate work for a lot of people and they're trying to do the right things with it, from people who may not have a choice in it, or people who do have a choice in it but don't go about it safely. There's just so much nuance to it. And that's why I try not to blanket anybody. And that's why
Yeah.
I said I didn't have a problem with what she does to get her ends. I minded my business on that. I don't want to know that people's personal business like that. Is when you come after me for no reason but to
Mhm.
try to ignite a beef. That's the only problem I have, and I'm just gonna ignore her now. I
Yeah.
feel like the only way to starve whatever fire she's trying to start is to not ignite it in the first place with her, because there's no win. I've heard enough about how low she can go with creators too, and like I
Oh,
said,
yeah.
and I will say it again. I have too much that I want to protect, too much that I'm
Yeah.
working hard for, to
Mhm.
go in a back and forth with somebody who can't just leave it at insults.
Yeah.
I'm that's not
Mhm.
interested.
Well, I mean, excuse me, that's one of the reasons why I'm glad that I've started these live streams, because I can talk, we can chat about anything
Yeah.
on
And
our
Jan,
live
can
stream.
I just say this, because there was something being told to me, and I don't like being told what to do by people who aren't my parents. You are a grown woman,
Uh,
and I enjoy your content and your panel. I do not feel that I should check you on anything you say. I don't do that in the first place to people I consider my elders, but also because it feels like people wanted me to invalidate your feelings on things. And no, how are we supposed to have a conversation if I get in your face and tell you, oh, you're wrong and this is why? I feel like too many people only have this black and white way of dealing with things, and they don't want to have conversation. They just want reaction versus reaction, and I refuse. I was never going to do that.
That's just like how that one person told me that I need to tell Jan such and such and such and such. Bitch, get out of my face. I ain't telling nobody nothing.
Yeah.
Jana, wipe the floor with me.
I just feel it's strange the way people in the commentary sphere act, because they wouldn't do it. You've given the panel link, they wouldn't come in and try to tell you to your face, but no, they'll tell us to tell you how to think and feel. And we just had a conversation of viewpoints, of different viewpoints, and it's nice. I don't understand why they would want us like arguing with each other when there's really no fight. It's ridiculous.
Well, maybe it's because we're all adults, and maybe it's because they're incapable of doing it. I mean, it's like whenever we've said, let's talk about the slow one, okay? Whenever you see him on a panel, he acts like he acts like a 5-year-old with ADHD. And so he's just totally disrupts the whole proceedings. Myself and also Bridge, we've tried to have him on panel maybe once, maybe twice, and it's just impossible to speak to him. Impossible. And, you know, I heard him say fairly recently, what's the point of having a panel if everybody agrees with each other? And it's like, what?
Because it's a fun conversation.
Even in agreement. Yeah, but even in agreement, you're going to have, like we say, the nuance, and you have different points of view. And then when we disagree, we don't have to it doesn't have to become an argument. You know, you can disagree like amicably.
Exactly. Respectfully too. And I just feel like they tell on themselves when they do stuff like that, because these are the same people who would not want you telling them who they can like, who they can talk to, and to check their friends. And I'm just like, why can't I just enjoy who I enjoy and let them have their point of view? You've never come at me from my point of view, so why should I come at you for yours? It's got to stop. And like I said, I put the stop on a lot of people who I still want to watch them and stuff, but I am not going to play the game of trying to shut other creators down from what they want to talk about. I'm not anybody's mama on here. My son don't have a YouTube channel, so no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, it's just insane. And it's like, you know, we know what Edna's like. She's like a little social butterfly, and she flicks around in all these different channels. And people say when they're actually on live, oh God, you better not let Jan see you in here. And it's like, I don't give a toss where Edna goes. Why don't you understand that? I really don't care where she goes.
Monitor where people go, who people are talking to. They come up with conspiracy theories. It's like, can't people just like who they like? I don't watch people that deeply. I maybe it's just the way my brain works. Once YouTube is off, I'm not thinking about YouTube.
Yeah,
I think sometimes these people are in the communities and they're like so like they become fans and they're so aligned with the content creator that they think everybody in there feels the same way. And you know, it's like no disrespect to anybody, but like I'm not a super fan of anybody. You know, I'm just like I do
It's
have
just
people that I like
business.
more than others, but it's not even business. It's entertainment. I'm just coming around to see what's going on. And it's like I might watch. I remember I just started watching this guy, Public Offender, and I was like, wait, what is he talking about? You know, I don't know anything about it, and I'm like, oh, I kind of like what he's talking. Like he's calling out all these dudes. Have you heard of him, Bridge? Oh, okay. Because when I saw him, I was like, oh, this is probably somebody you would like. It's just, you know, so I'm just always like hopping in and seeing what's going on and what they're talking about. That's all.
Yeah, getting the vibe. And I do that a lot too. And if I like them, I just keep liking them. It's not that deep.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of people, they show that it is that deep for them, and they really want factions. And when somebody's not interested, oh, you're boring. Well, then move on. There are plenty of people that will feed that need you have for drama.
Yeah. It's like Sasha says, right? Jan doesn't care. Just don't talk shit behind her back about her.
Mhm.
Simple. And I don't think that's too much to ask. But then, having said that, I'm not going to follow you around on on YouTube to
And
see
you
where
really
you
don't
are.
have to. At this point, nobody can really talk about anybody behind their back because it will always, people love to bring that shit to light. I wouldn't
Yeah,
have known anything that Hekate said about me at all if Chantel didn't let it be known that she watched her talking about me. So,
Oh, my
like I said, nothing people say won't come back to the person you're saying it about. It's just how you take it. And I realized that there are people that really want to start because they want to see me trip up. They want me to say something about them so that they could go, oh, you hurt my feelings. I'm going to take you to the lawsuit. And I'm not going to waste my ends fighting somebody because I said something true about them or speculated about them. So I just leave it alone. It's funny to me because nothing they
yeah,
can say really will hurt my feelings. At the end of the day, I'm good. And I think that's what rattles them the most.
yeah. They can't understand people acting differently than they do. And it's just all projection, really.
Yeah,
And I think as soon as you realize that, then you can just say, all right, stay over in that corner and you do what you do. All right.
exactly.
I'm going to
It's
be
like
doing this over here,
it's
you
like
Okay,
know?
I
PB
gotta go.
Tasha said. Okay, Bridget. It's like PB
I,
Tasha said though. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go because I have a client that I need to get to. So
All right,
we're
show
talking
off.
about.
good.
Yeah, no, we were
Bye,
talking about
Briz. Have
sex
a
work
good.
earlier. So I gotta go to my client.
You have a date.
I'll be listening in the car.
All right,
Yeah,
Okay,
darling,
anytime,
take
bye.
care.
girl.
Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
But it's
Oh,
like
bless
PB
her.
Tasha said. I prefer people that talk shit, honestly, and just if you're in the drama, be in the drama. I don't judge people that just have their fun. But there are
Mhm.
these people that talk shit and then try to pretend like they're morally better than people, they're
I know.
angelic and
Yes.
everything else. And that's the people I don't fuck with because I would rather upfront bitch than a phony one
So
that
would
that
I.
pretends. Yeah.
Why would I say it to my face? And that's
Yeah.
why, I have gone on these people's chats. I've gone on people's panels who have been sat there talking the biggest load of shite about me, and then I think, all right, I'm ready. I've got time today, so I go on there, and they silence me within like a minute. They can't take the truth, and they silence me, and they know that I'm not scared. I'm not scared of them. I'll say what I've got to say, and if you don't like it, that's just tough. And just stop telling lies about me. That's all I'm likely to do. But they just don't understand it because they don't have the guts to do that. I mean, and
No.
I know people, I mean, like Bridger said before, oh, Jan, I don't know why you bother doing it. And I'm like, well, because at that time I thought, all right, yeah, I'll speak to you, you dweeb. And I'll
I
go
think it's
at it.
important to have your voice and like your like to stand up for yourself. I was watching a video about a girl who unfortunately had a negative situation happen with a with a boy, like with a few boys when she was younger. I think you could probably understand where I'm going with that. And it's
Yeah.
just like she came out tell her story so that other young girls know that like you were preyed upon, or you know what I mean, like you say it to kind of give a voice to other people to let them know, like to just bring awareness to it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I forgot exactly what you said, but
No,
I'm
It,
showing off. Sorry.
it's no,
no,
it's
that's all right,
fine.
hon.
A long
It's like
story.
I was accused of saying something when in actual fact that's not what I meant at all. But I just got so tired of trying to explain it, and I thought, you know what? I would get more sense if I looked at my fish tank and tried to explain it to my fish swimming around. There's no way that they're going to understand it. And so I reached that conclusion. I said what I needed to say. I confirmed that I still felt that way. Now, whether they
Mhm.
were prepared, whether they can accept or even understand or comprehend what I was trying to say isn't my problem. The problem
It,
is with them. And,
Exactly.
it's a shame that they weren't intelligent enough to actually have a conversation with me, because I would quite happily have had that conversation with somebody and tried to articulate it enough that they could understand where I'm coming from. But it was just a complete waste of time. And then all of a sudden, there's video after video coming out about how awful I am, how I should never work with children, how I shouldn't be around children. It was insane.
And
Absolutely insane for somebody like, and when I say somebody, it's me, who's worked with children for years and years, to hear these simpletons, that's all I can call them, simpletons, trying to twist a version of what I said and what I meant, it's just a complete waste of my time. It's a waste of my intelligence.
and
No,
So,
I
honestly,
disagree. I think it was awesome, and I hope everybody keeps that same energy when you have somebody in your family or a little child or something acting different or comes to you, says somebody did this or said that. Keep that same energy with them and be like, absolutely not. Right? Because many times we say, "Oh, maybe the child got that from such and such," or you
mhm,
know what I mean? They made that up, or somebody coached them. You know what I mean? So it's
yeah,
like I just hope everybody remembers this situation and they stand on their business.
yeah,
I will say this. I know how I felt about the topic because of what I went through, but I also could see the point of view of somebody who had worked with kids, who has seen patterns and everything else. I think it could have been a really good conversation and seeing the
yeah,
different points of view with respect to the topic and who we were talking about, because everybody knows how I feel about Chantel. The
yeah,
thing is, people were trying to get like a moral win in this when there are so many gray areas, and they wanted the reactionary. And I know who you were talking about because I sometimes listen to his stuff when he's on. I don't talk much because a lot of times I'm editing and stuff, and I see where it can sometimes be entertaining when he gets like the reactionary stuff out of people. But what I fail to agree with is the fact that you think you can force your way of thinking on somebody who's using their experience for their way of thinking. And instead of having a
Right.
conversation, you just want to tell somebody they're wrong for their way of thinking. And this is a
yeah,
person who doesn't, from what I feel and see of him, he doesn't like being told he's wrong about stuff either. And it's just like, why can't people just be allowed to feel how they feel and get it out there without it being a bigger drama than it
yeah.
is?
Well,
Yeah,
I would
because it's
say,
subjective.
Yeah.
I would even
Good.
say that it's not even as if they're making it a bigger drama. It never was a drama. I was
No.
saying how I perceived a situation, and it was coming from years of working with kids, of having 4 kids of my own, having 4
Mhm.
grandchildren of my own, having been a child myself, and I'm not going to divulge my childhood to people like that. I'm not going to do it.
And not
So,
only that, there's ways people say things. I apparently me saying that I felt that Chantel got lucky that she didn't get, because a lot of older men like to trap somebody younger that they can
yeah,
control, and that is exactly what I meant when I said that, because it happened to me. For
yeah,
10 years of my life, I was trapped by an older man. So I felt that in the grand scheme of things, the fact that they only had that intimacy briefly, and that she was able to escape from being controlled by him for years of her life, throwing away years of her life. But the fact that they were trying to nitpick that, not the person that we were talking about earlier, but another person in their chat said it. And I'm
yeah,
just like, there is
Mhm.
no proper way to say things when people want to see you as bad or the enemy. So I don't feel like I'm not going to push people to clarify unless I don't comprehend what they're saying. And I got the
Right.
point you were trying to make about the conversation. Even if there were little things that I don't personally agree with, you're supposed to have conversations. You're not supposed to just tell somebody they're wrong when you've not walked their life. You don't have their experience.
Mhm.
exactly. And also, it's the way that they tell you. I could have a conversation with you, Kalari, I know for a fact, and we could talk on it. You could tell me what you disagreed with. I would listen to it, and I would tell you why I feel this way. And it's called adulting and
We
having
just did
a
that on sex work.
conversation. I
Yes.
know. But it's like, it's like I've told Edna. Edna knows a little bit about myself. And, there's a reason. There's another reason that I'm not going to put out to these vultures of how I know that a 16-year-old can be preyed on. How I
On top of that,
know that a 16-year-old can be abused by an older person.
yeah.
There's a reason for that. And
And
I'm not going to spill it in this community, because this community will run with it, will twist it, will do whatever they want with it. And I
yeah,
won't give them that. I'm not giving them my trauma as a gift,
exactly.
you
And I
know?
think
And
it's
you're an
sad that
intelligent woman. You're an intelligent woman. I only have intelligent people on my panel, trust me. You're intelligent, Edna's intelligent, and Bridge is intelligent. And I trust these girls with personal information about me. And there's no way I'm going to justify what I said in that situation by telling them information about me.
yeah. And you shouldn't have to, because, like I said, it feels like the people that accuse everybody else of having a hive mind tend to can't understand that we can all have different points of view and still talk to each other and
Yeah.
get along. I've noticed that they team to pile on people that I'm going to use Edna, for example. She goes around to people's chats. She listens. She's not there to like get into a back and forth. She just wants to hear what people got to say. And people perceive that as, oh, she's just too nice. She's just too this. She's probably just listening because she wants to hear what people have to say. But people, they have to twist things. And it just gets tiring. And for me, the older I get, the less I want people that want to shatter my peace. And there are far too many people that want to do that.
I'm
Right.
exactly
And
the
I feel like
same.
online is a safe space to like throw my hearts and everything. Like you can't walk down the street just bouncing around, smiling every day. Somebody pick you up and pick you up, you know what I mean? Like how you said, man would trap you or something, right? So it's
Yeah.
like I can be online and have fun and throw hearts around and you don't have to worry about something like that. Like I think it's nice to be nice. Shoot me. I don't know.
I think it's
No.
good. I think if you have that personality, protect that personality, because there's not a lot of people out there like that. I'm a very cynical person at the core of my heart. I have trust issues for obvious reasons, but I don't go out of my way to like antagonize somebody unless I see something about them that really, like, the whole reason I started reacting to Chantal was last year when she did that red hijab rage and she said FFG's mom passed and was her karma, and it just activated fight mode in my brain. I was just like, you
That
know
is,
what?
yeah.
I was okay just watching her and maybe like super chat and a jab here or there. But when you went that low, it's like, okay, maybe she's a fighter. We'll have a fun back and forth. But she's not. She's a coward. She talks a lot of shit and then she acts like she's the victim. And because I know where she is and where I was, I can come at her at the perspective of mental health. I can come at her from the perspective of not giving up and just call out all her lies and BS. That's why I focus on her. But some people want to take that and twist it. And that's why I ignore a lot of the naysayers, because they're not going to change my personality. And that's why I don't want anybody to change Edna's personality. I enjoy seeing her in my chat and other people's chat because I know she's just listening. It ain't that personal. I've never seen anybody go, well, you know what? Edna has a list and she said this about you. And she said this. No. The only thing they can say about you is you're too nice and you hang out with everybody. So
yeah, but they have tried to twist it before. I've had people come to me and say, why do you let Edna do this? Or, did you know Edna was in so-and-so's chat? And did you know Edna this, that, and the other? And I'm like, listen, nobody knows Edna like I know Edna. I have enough faith in Edna that, I don't worry about where she goes. What?
yes.
She's not my puppy. You know, I don't have her on a leash. Oh no, Edna, you can't go over there. You know, it's just ridiculous. And yeah, people like the slow one can be really harsh to Edna. Why would you be mean to Edna? For God's sake.
They think niceness is a weakness. And I think a person that can stay nice when everybody's being toxic is a very strong person. Point
Yeah,
blank.
The
absolutely.
thing is, I know how far I would go. You know what I mean? Like, I don't play. Like, if I say I'm gonna do something, it's as good as done.
Yeah.
So I don't even want to speak negativity or anything like that because I know, like, it's the same thing for something like that. You know, so it's like I don't want to touch anything like that because
Yeah.
And then
I
they'll
think
play
I
the
might have
victim
said
when
the
you
wrong
drag
word
them for
there.
filth.
I
Yep.
think I might have said the wrong word there. Did I say nobody wants to be nice to Edna? What I meant to say was, why would anyone be mean to Edna? I don't understand that.
They
And that's
project a
coming from my
lot
heart.
onto anybody that doesn't act the way they want them to act. Edna's her own person. And because they're so used to, well, I'm an attack dog or a voice for this big creator, or I want to stir shit with this, she must obviously be doing this and this and that. And she's not. And I don't see, even if she is, why it's your business. I don't understand the levels of just weird parasocial shit that goes on
Yeah.
in these spaces at times.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to find out if it happens in the crime space as well. You know, these parasocial relationships, because
I'm
it's
sure it does.
weird.
Yeah.
What, parasocial though? I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
anytime
But
you
they
have this kind of
don't you feel that when people do live streams, it's more likely to build a parasocial relationship because
yes,
you're actually
exactly.
speaking to the people in the chat.
You'd be
Whereas,
surprised how many content creators get it though. That because somebody starts liking what they say, they might heart a comment on their video and stuff, and people are like, "Oh, we're friends now." And then when they become fans of what you do, they can be super passionate about anybody that comes at you. And that's why I'm gentle with the people who like me on here, and I tell them, "These people are gonna talk shit about me. Don't make that your fight." I don't want you
yeah,
going to anybody's channel on my behalf because if I'm not, I'll say it to their face if I have to. If I'm not engaging, you don't need to engage. I don't want I want people. I want a community. I think
yeah,
it's fun to have people to chat with, to get different perspectives. We don't all come from the same walks of life, so you're always getting somebody new and stuff. And
that's
I think
right.
it makes it better for me. It doesn't have to be everybody's cup of tea. There are always going to be those who prefer like the Jerry Springer style commentary thing, and that's their bag. But for me, I like the fact that I don't treat the people who are in my chat, who comment on my videos, as pawns. And I feel like other people do, and they expect
Yeah,
that out of everybody, and you got to set that line.
yeah.
Mhm.
I agree. I think it's I truly believe it's down to the host, and
Yep.
that's why, you know, I've got all these people banned on my channel. I don't want them on my channel. Why would I want them on my channel?
And that's the thing, you're allowed to cultivate who you want in your
Yeah,
community. People are going to get hurt no matter what, but
yeah,
it just makes me laugh that people get mad because, oh, I'm blocked. Move on. There are
yeah,
plenty of
Oh,
other
and
people
you can
around here.
still, but they can still watch. They just can't comment.
Yeah.
that's right. I just
Yeah,
want
and
to
they
go
can still
back.
comment on their own channels. You know, that's what kind of throws me off. It's like nobody's silencing your voice. You know, you can go say whatever you want to say, but you don't have the right to say it to me.
They just want to
Yeah,
say it to people who have actual interactions in their community because it's all about spoiling people's happy. And I've learned that.
Mm.
If you're having fun, they want you miserable. If you have good, they want you to be in the bad. And that's why you just got to set a hard line with that and continue to be your authentic self. Because I'm not here to be popular. I'm just here to have fun.
exactly.
Mhm.
And I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm here a lot of the time. Not, yeah. I like my live streams to be fun, but I don't. I want my content. I like creating. So you know, I love creating all my backdrops. I love creating my videos. So that's my main reason. It's my creative outlet. But
Yeah.
people you know, in girl world, they would never understand that because, you know, I have got a voice, I've got a big mouth, and I'll say what I want to say, and that's the end of it. But that's not why I'm here. I'm not here to argue with this person or that person or have all my words misconstrued. But I want to just go back to what Random Fish says here. Chantel can be a victim, and we can talk about why she was a good victim and how literally that man, when he was hanging out with all those young girls, was essentially looking for her. Now,
Agreed.
one, I will say, yes, of course you can be a victim. We can all be a victim. The only problem that I have with that is that the bit where you say when he was hanging out with all these young girls was essentially looking for her. Now, from what I've got from the information, he wasn't hanging out with the young girls. He lived upstairs.
Wow.
That is a big difference. And, you know, me with my big mouth, I can't let things like that go. He wasn't hanging out with those young girls. From what I understand, it was like a masonette or a shared house or something, and he lived upstairs. So, yeah, that's
Like I
how I
said,
would argue with
it's
that.
a terrible situation any way you look at it, but too many people only want to see it as you've got to be hard line. And I will say
Yeah,
it again, that 40-year-old had all the power and he should have shut that down point blank.
absolutely.
That's how I feel about
Absolutely.
that. But to act like there wasn't an attitude that Chantal has given off constantly, she's shown it online too. I just
Mhm.
feel like too many people want to martyrize her now because it's convenient to attack another creator and ignore the fact that we're talking about Chantal here. And like I said, I don't condone what she went through. I was one of the first people when I reacted to her content to say she was taken advantage of. That was fucked up. And
Mhm.
even with the nuance, she was definitely taken advantage of in that situation because of the power dynamics. But too many people wanted to use this more as a gotcha than to have a conversation about how seriously messed up it was.
Right.
And that is
Yeah.
why I stay chaotic neutral in this stuff, because I could tell the people who just want a reactionary back and forth. And there's room for all of that. Like, I literally came from the art community. I've seen some stuff from that community. And that's why I agree with Bridget. It's not just girl world. There is crazy stuff all over YouTube, depending on where you hang out and what you talk about. Don't even get me started on the beauty community. They're the ones that really went crazy
I
on this
used to be
site
in the
too.
I used to be in the beauty community.
So you know, there
Yeah.
a lot of
No.
stuff, and the music community is the same too with the Davi Vanity stuff. So it just depends. It's like I say in the characters that I create. It's intent. How you use your platform, how you use your voice, how you use any of your
Yeah.
power. It's the intent of the person using it. And some people, they use their voices to try to either silence or bully others. And
Yeah.
it's up to us to not let them have that power over us. Just do what we got to do, be who we are, and let them be salty and bitter bitches. That's the way it's going to be.
That's the best
I
way to
mean, that's
treat
all we
them.
can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's absolutely the best way to treat them, and I can see Random Fish is still going on. Oh dear. Listen, I said I've addressed it. I'm not going to talk about it anymore, Random Fish. Yeah, he was hanging out with them apparently. Her friends would have parties and he would hang out with them. But yes, he lived upstairs. Okay, end of
He
subject.
sounds like a predator, for real, Randall
I'm
Fish. I agree
tired.
with you on that.
Yeah, I'm
But this,
tired of having to explain.
yeah,
Okay,
the
I
subject
really
is
am tired of
hard.
it.
And
And
it's not fun to even unpack, because there are a lot of us who have our own traumas in
yeah,
regard to that. So it's not
exactly.
a light topic to talk about.
No,
And I would much prefer, to just say our piece and move away from
that's
Chantal's
it.
past like that. She dwells enough in her past, and I just feel like this was used once again as a cudgel to like cause friction and fractures that don't need to be.
Yeah. Well,
Well, I
all
think
it
it's
did
not
to me, all it did to me was make me more determined to move away from those type of people and just, nah, sorry. I You know, I've spoken openly about it. I've been as honest as I possibly can. The only thing that's left to do is to tell them all about my childhood and this and this and that. No, it's not happening. It's not happening.
With the
I've got to
exception
respect for
of
myself.
with the exception of one clear person, I know that I'm more than likely going to be on panels with some of the people that were trying to get that gotcha and stuff.
Yeah.
All I can say is that I don't tell adults how to think. I would rather have conversations and back and forth that don't devolve into arguing. And I think all points of view should be welcome to be discussed. And if that's not your jam, don't watch. It's really as simple as that. If you don't like what somebody has to say, if that they are not your cup of tea, you have plenty of options on YouTube. There are literally millions of channels with people expressing different viewpoints or similar viewpoints to your own. I think what drives me nuts is when people try to run YouTube like a dictatorial state instead of just, okay, they said something I don't really care for. I'm going to distance myself. Just like you said, I'm just going to distance myself.
And that's what I did. Yeah. You know, and it made me, you know, it made me look more at what I do want to create. And, you know, I thought, do I really want to come online and have to keep repeating like a parrot over and over what I said and what I meant? And, you know, and you know, my experience there.
The thing is, they know what you meant,
all they were doing, every single one of them, there was at least 8 of them came out of the woodwork, slagging me off, coming out with lies, even from the attic. That's how the attic got back in. You look at their highest views on that, you know, on the ban evading channel. It's the one where, oh, I'm going to give Jan the attention she wants. I don't want your attention, you scum.
That's how they operate. They make their whole thing about getting people to react to them, doing a back and forth, and then playing the victim if you come hard at them. So it's like I said, let them talk. They're going to try anyway. The best thing you could do is to starve them of the energy they're trying to siphon from you.
Yeah, and that's what I'm doing. I mean, yeah, Drama Friday, maybe I might say something, but the rest of the week, get out of here.
Exactly. There's a difference between a dedicated day where you just talk about random stuff that's going on, especially when people have your name in their mouth. But the attention they want you to devote to them, I don't see you giving it to them. I've seen your art video. I've got to finish watching that. You're doing that Peter Mon series. You're doing other things. Yeah. So I think it bothers them because they really thought it was going to be a constant back and forth, this and that. And sometimes you just got to go, I've said what I said. I'm going to move on.
Yeah. No, I don't operate that way. I mean, I did a back and forth with Hussey for a time because I felt that I really need to educate people. I needed to educate people on who he really was. And then, you know, the slow one came on saying, oh, well, you enjoy doing all the back and forth. I was like, no, I don't. No, I do not. And that, you know, the truth is, in the real world, I just knock them out. Sorry, but I would just knock them out. I don't, you know, I've always looked after myself. I've had to look after myself. And I'm certainly not going to take crap on the internet. It's just not going to happen. So I'll be successful in a different community, you know. I'm happy with that. Sorry, Edna, darling.
I'm sorry, I just get too excited. Did you hear the story about the woman who her husband hired a hitman to kill her and she ended up killing him with her bare hands?
Yeah, I heard that story. That was a good story.
Yeah, that could be a true crime. What do we call it? Murder Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to cover the young girl this Monday, but yeah, definitely. Edna, write some notes down about it and then, you know, DM me them and I'll check it out. I think I vaguely remember.
Snowflake did a video about it, and that's how I found out about it.
Oh, right. Okay. So you like Mr. Snowflake, do you, Kalari?
I've enjoyed his commentary for a while. He's the reason why I found out a lot about Amber, because I
Yeah.
really didn't want to wait in
Oh.
because she's so much younger than me. And he did that Shape by the Algorithm. And it came
Yeah.
up on my TV one day when I was flipping through YouTube. And I was like, let me watch this. And he just has a way about him. And then I see he did other documentaries. He did a good one for Pride with this man that documented old New York City and showed the gay community throughout the years until he passed. And he did War Cats, which I sat with my cat and watched because he showed the cats of World War II. He does a lot of good work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you know what I think? And I don't know whether he'd hear this, but I do wonder whether he felt a little overwhelmed doing the Chantel stuff.
I'm going to say
Because
this as somebody who subscribed to him. He is working hard on the next two parts, but he also is a businessman. So he's releasing them closer to Vlogmas and November, which is a smarter business move. I still, and I don't want to be egotistical, but I said in his community tab, if he had released that one part he did around my birthday, I'd be happy. And he got it in June around my birthday. So I think he listens to people.
I think he's great. I like the way, and he's so different. He's so laid back.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what
He
I'd
just
like
wants
to
to
be,
have
but
fun.
I'm not allowed. I can't be. That's my mental illness stops me from being laid back.
Yeah.
I
You
just
know,
get too
I think
excited.
I'm like the opposite. I think I don't have mental illness because I'm laid back. Like I naturally want to be like a type A, like plan everything. But if I do, like I would be a B.
That's so funny. But yeah, I think his documentaries are amazing. I think as somebody that does a lot of editing myself, I really appreciate what he puts into his work. I just think it's brilliant. So to see the slow one, think that all he has to do is put this, green screen behind him, is just
A sweater and a
it just
beard.
blows my mind. Just blows my mind, guys.
And Mr. Snowflake's another one who worked so hard on his health because when he first started on YouTube, he was significantly heavier. And he said, I
Oh,
don't want to
really?
live like this. Yeah. And it was covering Amber that made him feel like, I don't want to be hypocritical calling her out for starting and stopping wellness. And he took his wellness seriously and he dropped a ton of weight. He is
Oh,
very
That's how I
inspirational.
felt.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people watch
Girl
Amberlynn
World is good for
and
diets.
lost weight.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
you see this, and it's like Amber in particular with her snacking, trying foods, and doing. It's like, girl, you don't need it. So then I tell myself, you don't need it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, Kalari, when you first started watching like the bigger girls, was it to try and sort of, gain tips from them, or, did you think that they were actually, weight loss channels
I
when you first
felt
saw them?
sympathetic to Chantel at first because I had watched Repsion because Repsion's all over the place with his commentary, and he did a covering of Sands Bar Lounge, what happened with Koki and
Yeah.
Edie, and I thought that Chantel might have been a victim of Koki at that time. And then we were getting other commentators that I enjoy talking about the BNE, and I didn't really know much about Chantel then. So I started digging to see what I could find out myself. And I came across FFG's channel, who archived Chantel for a good couple of years. And I seen that not only wasn't this a person that I wanted to defend, but there's serious issues with the stuff that she does in regards
Yeah,
to saying, I'm gonna do this and then dialing it back, or you guys can't press me because of my mental health, because she puts out negative tropes on everything a lot of us are going through. She is far
yeah,
from the only fat woman who's had trauma, who has mental health issues, but she is the one that constantly makes excuses because she found a button that makes it lucrative on YouTube to engage in her addiction instead of getting help for her addiction. And with
yeah,
me, I counter it because I understand what use of food as a crutch when you need that emotional stuff. I understand what it's like to get nearly immobile from that. I
Yeah.
understand what being in a bad relationship and other things were. And I wanted to show her that she didn't have to give up at first. And then I was like, you know what? She ain't even about that. She would never
No.
take good advice. That's why she doesn't keep friends that she can't use or manipulate. She doesn't want help. She just wants to do what she wants defiantly to her end. So
Yeah.
that was it for me. With Amber, I wasn't even going to pay attention to her because, like I said, she's a good 14 years younger than me. So she's like a child in my eyes. But I watched Shaped by the Algorithms. I see how she manipulates her partners and, that's just that attitude. And it's like, girl, if you make it to 40, it's going to be rougher for you. Get your life together now while you still have a chance.
Yeah. I mean, Edna will vouch for this, but I mean, when we first started doing these lives together, if Edna used to bring up Foodie, I'd shut her down straight away, and I'd say, Edna, I cannot talk about that woman, and it's got nothing to do. And it was really difficult to explain it. And I tried to explain it. I said, I think it's because she triggers me on so many levels. I can't even divide the levels up. There's just so much going on with that one person. And I don't want to be triggered like that online, especially on a live stream. I mean,
Well, Jen, I want to say I apologize because I really didn't understand triggers
yeah,
at the
yeah,
beginning,
it did.
but maybe you can think of it as like exposure therapy, right?
Yeah, okay. But the thing is with Edna, bless her, she knew, and I think over time, Edna's learned who I am. She knows who I am, really, and so she understands it more now. But at the time, I don't think Edna really understood, and I think perhaps
No.
Kalari, you might understand. Kalari, do you have BPD?
I have what's called schizoaffective disorder. So it is schizophrenia and bipolar.
Yeah, I
And
know. My friend Gary. Gary had schizoaffective disorder as well.
And man, is she bipolar.
That's what he had. And so I'm quite familiar with it because I was a really good friend of his for quite some time.
I'm
But
not really familiar. Could you kind of let us know?
yeah, and I that's why I started talking up on it because there's so many misconceptions. I also was diagnosed by a psychiatrist with sociopathic disorder as well because I do not like people. I know that I come across as like really friendly online because I don't really see people like that. I see names and I interact with names, but in crowds, I tend to try to get away or isolate myself after a while. I have a very limited battery for face to face because I go into protect myself mode. And with schizophrenia, I think people only understand the Hollywood stuff. They don't understand that, yeah, I hear voices sometimes. I have days where if I don't get enough sleep, the wall between lucidity and non lucidity is gone. So I can see, hear, and experience things that are not really going on around me. It's like my mind is pulled into another dimension. And then with the bipolar, you have the ups. You can just do everything at once, and then you don't get anything done because
Like
you're so
the manic
manic.
episode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
So-
the really
So if
manic
it-
lows.
so if it's bipolar, is it bipolar 1 or bipolar 2?
I believe mine was bipolar 1 because I was at the time it was diagnosed severely depressed. But it just depends on who's taking care of you, what the doctor says. I have my monthly meeting with a psychiatrist, and then I have one-on-one with therapists when needed. I take my meds for it, and I channel a lot of the energy into creative stuff because when you find that outlet, it does help your mind because I have out there thoughts sometimes. And instead of like shouting them at people, I'm like, well, maybe I could twist this into a story or a poem or something. I can design something. And the misconception that I want to stop people from having when it comes to mental health is that we're unintelligent or that we can't function. Because of getting help, I stay on my routine. I get up every morning at 7:30. I take care of the house. I get my exercise on. I do my written work, whatever I have to do, whether it's editing or starting a new story. I get my cleanup time because hygiene is very important. When you become non-lucid, and a lot of schizophrenics do this, you just start to veg, and I don't want to do that. So
Yeah.
keeping on that routine helps that. But there are a
Mhm.
lot of people that mock because they only see the negative of mental health. And that was
Right.
why I was like, let me start trying to speak up. I know I don't represent everybody that has this, but I want to show people that they're not alone in this, and maybe they can start inching towards doing little things that can help them navigate this, because it's forever.
Yeah.
Right.
Are you ever free on a Wednesday, Kalari? Because I'd really like to be able to have a proper mental health conversation with you, and it's getting on now, so we can't really, carry on for much longer. But
Yeah.
I'd really love to have that conversation with you because, I have my own mental health issues that I deal with on a daily. And, I know I'm not going to speak for Edna, but I know people. I was very close to Gary. And I mean, all I will say is that he struggled so hard and he struggled with getting help as well, Kalari. So I want to say to you, you're so lucky that you do get the help that you require
I
because,
feel lucky for real, because it's
yeah,
very expensive depending on where you live
Yeah.
here,
yeah,
and it's not always readily available too. And I just got lucky that I have a support system at home as well, because that's vital too. That they don't try to like, oh, do this and you won't feel that way. They're more
yeah,
understanding that mom is feeling kind of checked out.
yeah,
Let her rest.
yeah.
That's
You know.
I
awesome.
know.
Yeah.
It's difficult. I mean, it's difficult over here as well, to get help with the mental health.
Yeah.
The mental health service over here is it's just a
And I
joke.
would love to be on Wednesday. Like some days is like super busy, depending if we got to go out of town and stuff. But this week I should be able to make it, because I would love to talk about, like, I learned like in South Korea, they are just starting to take mental health seriously, because back then it was a social stigma. If you
Yeah,
had any of those things, they didn't want to talk about you. You were either cast away, homeless, or
right.
jailed.
And it still
Yeah.
happens in so many countries though, Kalari.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even in places like even in like Jamaica and in African countries, mental health is not, it's not spoken about. It's not a thing. There's no such
Yeah.
thing as it. Um, and
And
as
here it
I,
can be used as a weapon, and you have to
yeah,
worry about wellness checks. It's a mess, but I would
yeah.
love to have these
Mhm.
conversations.
Oh, I mean, if you're happy to do this Wednesday or possibly next Wednesday, then that's great. We'll DM on Twitter,
Yeah.
because I'd like to sort of build it as a proper mental health chat and sort of stick to that. So we won't have Bridget in because she's just a pain.
Oh, no.
Hey, beautiful! I'm only joking. Bridget knows a lot about mental health. She's
And
great.
I heard that too. I've heard that a lot of people who are in the art and music and like me like to write and
Yeah.
stuff. There's just something, our brains just connect differently than most people. And I felt like that since I was a child, and my family, because they were church people, denied it for a long time. And it
Mm,
wasn't until I had severe nervous breakdowns that I was like, I gotta do something about this. I
yeah.
don't
Yeah.
want to live this life like this. It's scary.
And you know what's so scary as well is the link between that and being being gay. Very,
Oh, yeah.
very tenuous link there, because some families just can't accept it and
Yeah.
they put their kids through hell. And it's the same with
Mhm.
mental health. Oh no, no,
Yep.
you can't do that. I mean, I don't know if you know, Kalari, but I was brought up in care, and so the help should have been there, but it wasn't.
No,
Uh,
they
Mhm.
stigmatize and they act like you're a problem that they don't want to deal with, and it's
yeah,
hurtful.
and they didn't understand me because bear in mind it was in Britain. I was brought up in a very white middle class area by white middle class people who didn't understand, a mixed race girl who,
Mhm.
acted in certain ways. I wanted to sing, I wanted to dance, I wanted to do this. I was great at sport, and they just didn't get it.
Yeah.
So But what's so, getting back to this god awful community, I've heard people talking about, my upbringing and trying to use it as a weapon to beat me with. I mean, how disgusting must you be to do that? And to question, oh, she's not really black because she was brought up by whites.
I
People
tell
have said that to
people
me.
all the time about that gatekeeping stuff. I don't do it. I
It's
said it in my
vile.
latest video. You cannot tell a black person their heritage or their background. My grandfather was full-blooded Native, and because of what they did here in the North American, not just US and Canada, where people rehomed Native children to Christianize them, he was stripped
Mm.
of his tribal ties. That didn't make him non-native because he was raised by white people. So
Exactly.
for people to say that, they're just looking for a way to hurt you, and you got to realize that's their nasty. It does not
Yeah.
have to hit your heart at all.
Oh, absolutely. And it doesn't. I mean, the only reason that the last onslaught hit me a bit was because these people in the attic have got information from ex-friends of mine, personal information.
And
And
that's the thing that I wanted to avoid in the commentary
yeah,
thing, point blank, because I don't like that. Don't come with me at me with people's information.
yeah,
I don't engage in that. I don't want to do stuff like that. And I see that there are people that do, and
yeah.
I just that's their thing. It's not mine.
It's
And I've set
vile.
that hard boundary that I'm not going to play those kind of games at
Yeah,
all.
it's vile. And I also, there's certain things I put a stop to it because I know an awful lot about them as well. And I was prepared to ruin someone's career over it because I thought, if you have gone to somebody else, some piece of shit in Indiana, and told them my personal information, you think you're going to get away with that? Not
Yeah.
happening. You
But for
don't know the
them,
real Jan.
it's never the escalation wouldn't stop then too, and they love this. It's like they feed, and they're like energy vampires to me.
Yeah.
And instead of getting down with what they want to do, it's best to just let them talk their shit sometimes and be like, hey,
Yeah.
if that's how you feel about me, I'm still gonna do me, because they just want that reaction. They want that
Yeah.
back and forth because it fuels they have people that are entertained by that in their communities. And I don't fault people. There are a lot of us that used to watch trash TV back in the day, but there's got to be a limit between enjoying that and being a part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing with, YouTube and the lives and being able to speak directly to the creators where it's not like TV where, these people, it's been months since, whatever happened and filmed and it's edited a certain way. Like there's a lot of manipulation that happens to what we see that doesn't
Yeah,
happen here. Like it's live, so we're seeing it directly,
Mm,
and,
exactly.
mm.
and, and
And
communicating directly. So I think, go ahead, Pilar.
I was going to say that to add to that, there are a lot of commentators that they realize that engagement, and some utilize it to have fun with their communities, and others utilize it to send their communities to do their bidding. And that's why I try to set that firm boundary that I'm just here to have fun with you guys. I don't want it to be any personal than that. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of people in the community that sits with me on Saturdays and stuff can appreciate that. They know I'm not going to clock watch them. I don't care who you hang out with. I don't care who you kick it with after you leave me. It's not that deep. But they
No.
also have to deal with creators that are like that. Oh, you like this person. I can't talk to you. And it's like, well grown. There's
Yeah.
got to be a point where somebody says enough's enough. Like who you want to like. If I don't fuck with them, that's my personal thing.
Yeah.
You know?
That's how
Exactly.
I am. If you tell me take it or leave it, I'm gonna leave it every time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's the trigger of mine. So yeah.
And I'm not
Yeah.
even trying to act like I'm super mature. I grew up in New York. I can be reactionary. It's just the older I get, the less I want to constantly fight with people. It's just not
Yeah.
fun
Yeah.
anymore. You get burnt out from it.
That's right.
That's
Absolutely.
exactly what it is. Yeah,
I
because
did
I
I
mean,
did
it's like
speak
you
to
deal with a lot
somebody.
in.
Go on, Edna,
Sorry,
sorry.
Dee. I was gonna say, like, we deal with so much in life that we get burnt out on. Like, it's ridiculous to come into this online fun space and do the same thing.
I
Yeah.
know. It's insane. And it's not even that. I mean, I don't deal with a lot of shit in my real life. And, I think, well, why would I come online and have to deal with that? Why would I want to
Constantly.
do
Yeah.
that? I don't want to do it. I'm a creative. I want to sit down, I want to paint, or I want to do something else, or I want to make a nice video, I want to do this. Why would I want to come on just to argue with somebody? It just
Yeah.
it
And
just
they
doesn't make
use
sense to me.
the same arguments. They either try to attack you on a personal level, they try to attack your channel. Oh, you don't get views, you don't get that. And it's like, what about we're just here to have fun?
Yeah.
Like, if
Yeah.
I was trying to make YouTube a full-time job, I might care more about stuff like that. But this is just a side thing that I have fun doing every once in a while I do the thing I love. I am
Yeah.
always going to love writing over anything else.
Yeah.
And like
And
I said,
that's exactly how I feel, Kalari. This isn't my life. All
yeah,
right, I do more on it now, but that's because, I'm an empty nester and I enjoy YouTube. But
yeah,
I'm not coming here to have a blooming argument with you over something or to hear my family business being spread out because
yep.
I've fallen out with people. And the thing is, I didn't even fall out with them. They just decided that they'd rather be friends with them. All right, off you go then. Bye.
And
But
that's the thing, the backstabbing, the backbiting, the trying to get one up. It's just not interesting to me on
no,
my end, but there are a lot of people that engage in that stuff. And like I said, you have to navigate it as carefully it is. But I
no,
never fault somebody whose business gets put out there unwantedly for defending themselves. You have to
no.
defend
Mhm.
yourself at that point.
I
I think it's
exactly.
ridiculous to get on somebody for getting upset about that.
Yeah. Well, I had to speak to somebody about it. Somebody, Bridget. And I said to her, Bridge, I'm more hurt than anything else. And I'm not hurt by what they say. I'm just hurt at the betrayal of friends.
Yeah.
And I
Mhm.
said, I feel that I have to react in such a way that it is going to stop and it's going to stop now.
Yeah,
And
because
Yeah.
that's what I did.
I
And
feel
I
like you kind
stand
of
by
like
that.
me with that. When I get hurt by somebody I let in, because I don't let people in easily, I
Yeah,
tend to go scorch earth because
yeah,
I need them to know that you fucked up so bad that you get no more chances. That's
yeah,
it.
Yeah. And
yeah,
people minimize like the connections that we have online, but it's
Yeah,
like, like when we're in Bally's chat just hanging around, it's like you really do feel like you're hanging out with people and you're having fun and everything. So, you do develop
yeah.
connections and
relationship.
when they're severed, it does hurt. Yeah.
It does. You can forge actual friendships when you talk to people. Nowadays, it's even better than when the internet 10, 20 years ago is. You get
Yeah,
face to face time and everything else. But
Mhm.
that you I think some people still treat the internet as like a game where they can anonymously be shit and then act like they're good
Yeah.
people. And it's just tiring. And that's why I present myself the way I want up front.
yeah.
I'm
And
not here to be everybody's BFF, but I'll let people have their points of view. I'm not in control of that.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's like, I don't know how many panels you've heard, but me and Edna, we never agree on anything. Anything. If I say, oh, it's a nice sunny day today, Edna, she'll be like, no, it's not. It was raining earlier. Or, yeah, but at least when it rains, it waters the flowers and the flowers grow. And Edna's so different to me.
It gives a good point, counterpoint, back and forth, though. It's fun to listen to.
Yeah. But the
No, I,
thread
I
that
have a
runs.
question though. Kalari, are you a Cancer?
I'm a Gemini. And that's why I tell people
Gemini.
when
Ah,
I flip out, the person deserves it because I send to listen. And that's the thing people do to Geminis. We're very personal people. People will tell you all their fucking business, whether you want it or not. And then when they step out of pocket and I use the shit they say against them, they get mad. I love observing. I like to be what's known as the quiet one. You don't piss off the quiet one, because there's a nice side to my Gemini and there's a nasty side to my Gemini.
Nice.
Okay.
Like I was supposed to be a Leo, but I came out early.
Well, I'm a Scorpio, and you know what Scorpios are like.
Oh yeah, you get
And
Scorpio mad. That's it.
Not
One of my
only,
best friends is a Scorpio.
yeah, but not only that, I'm on the cusp. So that's where I think
Mhm.
I get my creative thing from, is because I'm on the cusp with Sagittarius.
I share the same birthday as Tupac Shakur, so if that gives you any idea how my
Wow.
mind can act at
Wow.
times,
Interesting.
I am good to the people I want to be good to, but if I don't like you, you know. I don't play that, oh, I'm just going to be nice to you. If I don't like you, you know. That's it.
Yeah,
I don't
but
play them games.
I'm like that as well, though, Kalari. I mean, my family laugh at me. They'll say to me, "Have you been arguing online again, Mum?" And I'm like,
Yes, Bridget, that's my birthday.
but that's not what I want to do. My son's June 5th. My youngest, he's a Gemini. What are you, Edna?
I'm July 10th. I'm a Cancer.
My sister's a
Okay.
Cancer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I give off air sign energy. Sometimes I can be heavy, but a lot of times I just leave it light because life's too short. I've
yeah,
lost too many people the last couple of years, so I've learned to just let go of things. I just want to have fun.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
And
I'm
I
so
feel like I'm
glad
like
you came.
water.
I'm so glad you came and joined us. And I have to say, that avatar is stunning.
Thank you. Pixelay,
Mhm.
my co-host now for Political Talk, drew her for me, and I was like, oh yeah, I want to use her as the avatar. So pretty.
It's beautiful. And may I say, please take a look at Edna. This is her new avatar, and she's just adorable. I just
Yes.
want to squish her. So,
It's funny
girls,
because go ahead.
no, go on.
We talk all night. No, let's go ahead, Jan.
No, go on. You were going to say it's funny because
Well, because a friend actually made it for me, and
I
it
love it.
actually like a lot closer than I anticipated it. So it's kind of funny,
It's really
like
nice. I
just
like
how I
it.
actually look. Yeah,
Bridge,
I think it's adorable.
Bridge, it doesn't get better, does it, with Edna? Bless her. Edna's timing is always out, but we love
I
her.
know,
It's okay. Anyway, I want to
with
say,
the most important points too.
she's so cute. Right, I want to say thank you, girls, so much for coming on panel. It's been great. It's been great chatting to you.
Yes.
And let's make a date for the mental health one. That would be great.
Oh
And
yeah.
I just think it's a shame that whatever, that we're sort of affiliated, if you like, to that toxic community, because because of that, I think we're always a bit sort of nervous to say certain things. But
My thing
let
is, I don't defend everybody in Girl World, but I know enough people in Girl World that I enjoy that we've got artists, we have musicians, we have cartoonists. I just don't
Mhm.
blanket the whole community from the people who only want to shit stir with one another. And
yeah,
then, even then, there are some people who shit stir that are just fun to me, so I hang out with them too. I think it's the intent. And honestly, there are bad communities in every sector of YouTube. And like I
yeah,
said, I'm not here to tell people how they feel about certain communities. I just know that I enjoy being a part of Girl World because I feel like I can give takes based on my life experiences from it. And that I do
Mhm.
know that there are problematic people, but I don't hang out with a majority of them, so I don't care. I don't know them, I don't care.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's I feel the same. I think we think very similarly. And I just wanted to go back to like your mental health situation, Kalari, and just say, girl, you are kicking its ass, and I am so impressed. I'm just so impressed with you. And I think the reason I say that is because I know how badly it can affect people.
Oh yeah.
So I've got to say, I just totally respect you.
Thank you. I'm just glad there wasn't a YouTube 20 years ago when I was not getting the help, because I
Yeah.
think YouTube exploits a lot of people that don't have the help and
Yeah.
gives them access to showing that side. And I thank God every day that I wasn't like that online.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Kimberly. You're a sweetie. I love Kimberly.
She is lovely. She is lovely. All right then, girlies, have a super weekend.
You too.
And
Thank you.
thanks for coming up. You're absolute stars. And also you, Bridge, thanks for coming up earlier. And get where you're meant to be, girly. Just
And be
get there.
safe. Yes.
Yeah, and be safe. And I will see you on Monday for Murder Monday.
Definitely.
So you take care of yourselves out there, because it's a rotten old world. So for now, take care. Bye-bye.